Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, apparently, from what I'm seeing on the news, Italy is planning a large-scale quarantine in response to the CV outbreak. We're going to talk about that right after this.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn. I am hard, but I am fair.
Alright, welcome back. As we progress through this, we'll just call it the CV. As we progress through that, a lot of countries, and I am anticipating even the United States, will begin placing quarantines on cities and municipalities, and it will definitely affect the world economy. It will definitely affect local economies, and it could even create a massive depression as governments try to get a hold of this outbreak. Now, my personal opinion is yes, it's serious. But if you remember, every election year that we've ever had, there's always been some type of outbreak or a problem. And that's what I say, it's the media creating fear. And I don't know, man. I mean, this is becoming even bigger than I thought it would be. We have a lot of cases in... hang on. And this is actually coming from because the fact that a U.S. service member has acquired this virus, if you will. And so now we have to shut down the whole daggone city. So I want to show you this broadcast real quick, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Lockdown in large parts of the country, Europe's most drastic action yet to stop the spread of coronavirus. Our colleagues at the Wall Street Journal first reported the draft decree, which would take effect tomorrow if approved. More than 10 million people around Milan would be affected. Police and even the army would enforce the quarantine. Italy has nearly 6,000 coronavirus cases. More than 230 people have died there, the biggest outbreak outside Asia. The U.S. Navy sailor tested positive in Naples, about 500 miles away from Milan. Friday, the U.S. military announced its first confirmed case at the headquarters for U.S. forces in Korea after a South Korean employee tested positive on the base. This is the 7th coronavirus case confirmed by the U.S. military in Korea, but so far only one active duty American soldier out of 28,500 troops based there have been infected. Back home, Defense Secretary Mark Esper says he's fully confident the Pentagon could withstand the virus.
We have a lot of capabilities in this building. Our National Military Command Center has the capability to go for weeks at a time if they have to be locked down inside the building if we have some type of outbreak.
Despite the rising threat from coronavirus, U.S. Navy warships continue their missions around the world. After leaving Guam, the aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt pulled into Vietnam earlier this week. But warships must now spend at least 14 days at sea following port calls to quarantine the crew. Earlier this week on Capitol Hill, the Navy's top admirals were asked this key question.
Do you have test kits?
No, we don't. We don't yet, but that's not just a problem for DOD. But I think that we're getting to a better place in terms of the production to allow us to be able to distribute those out to the force.
At the Pentagon, the head of infectious disease at Walter Reed Medical Center said there's no need to panic.
I think people should recognize at the end of the day, this still remains a low risk infection to not just our service members, but to the American public.
John, there are now just 2 confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S. military out of 1.3 million men and women in the active duty forces. John?
Worth remembering. Lucas Tomlinson, thank you.
Well, it's obviously not serious enough to, at this point in time, to stop daily operations. It's obviously not serious enough to keep these warships out of these areas. 6,000 cases in Italy is a lot, and it is the #2 area for the outbreak. But honestly, guys, and people have been telling you this, and clearly people are not listening. Wash your hands, wash your ass, and wash your food. You have to be careful, and even if this wasn't even a thing, you still have to be careful because guess what? It's flu season. Everybody gets the freaking flu at some point or another. So now we're getting to the point where we are quarantining. Well, we have been for a while because of China and other areas, but we're not doing any type of travel bans. We're not letting people know that you can't go to or from these areas like Italy. We have healthcare workers, we have military personnel, we have regular civilians all catching this thing. And everyone is hyping it up like, oh my God, if I get it, I'm going to die. No, you're not. You might, but you might walk out tomorrow, step out in the street, get hit by a Mack truck. You might. That's the whole thing. You might. That is life, guys. You might have something happen to you. You might get your electricity shut off if you don't pay the bill. You might get into a car accident tomorrow because somebody's not paying attention. You might win the lottery. You get what I'm saying? So you have this outbreak now. Everyone's petrified. Stores are clearing out all of their inventory because everyone's running in a mass panic to go buy these things because they think they're going to be at home. Well, they might. And yes, you should prepare for a quarantine because if a quarantine happens, you don't have any control over that. So, but what you don't need to do is buy paper goods, cleaning supplies. You need to buy stuff you can eat. What are you going to do? Eat the Lysol wipes, the paper towels, toilet paper? You need to have stuff in your house that doesn't need to be refrigerated in case, something happens to your power because you're out at work for 3 weeks and they cut it off. But that's it. I mean, this thing is getting to be a very serious thing, and also the media is trying to boost it even more. And everyone is just, boom, boom, boom. I had a fellow in my Uber the other day from Los Angeles. I ain't gonna lie, I unleashed a can of Lysol right after he got out. But that was only for the protection of my other passengers and me. But I wasn't like, oh my God, oh, he's from LA, oh crap. But he said everybody over there is panicking. Guys, stop panicking. Just take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Don't touch people. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. No one likes to be touched. Wash your ass. Make sure your house is clean. Don't go into areas where you think you might get sick, like hospitals. That's all I got. But yeah, this thing's getting serious. My only concern is that now the economy is going to be a really bad thing because everyone's quarantined, no one can work, no one can buy, and we might get ourselves into a state of third worldism. But it goes back to my videos that I've talked about Agenda 2030. And we're going to try to do a podcast with Geta about that because she may have some serious insight on how this stuff is going to work. But I have to do it on her time. She's not feeling well and she has a lot of things to deal with. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this quarantine and what you think the future of our economy and our lifestyle will end up being because of this CV.